Beginning with the name of Allah, the most compassionate and most merciful. Respected and dear student, Assalamu alaikum. I am conveying my greetings and best wishes to everyone. Hope that everyone is fine and healthy along with your daily life's activities. I am glad to be here once again for delivering the lecture number 25 of the subjects of sociology. And today we will be discussing about the remaining portion of the cultures, the topics that we already discussed about it. So today we are going to discuss the culture refugee, that what does it means, and some other terms that are being used relevant to the topics of culture, that is ethnocentrisms and xenocentrisms. So we will make it clear that what are the difference between these two terms. But before going to the lectures, let me remind you about the previous lectures that we talked about the cultures and that what is cultures. As we define that culture is a complex whole which includes idea, norms, traditions, knowledge, values, and that is being acquired by humans as a member of societies. And we talked about the cultures, that we have material cultures and non-material cultures, and also we talked about the culture diffusions and the functions of cultures. But now let me talk what is culture refugee. So, as you know, the word refugee, you might be familiar with the words in general, that what does refugee means. The same terms in a different concept, we're using the refugee in a cultures as a new concepts. It might be a bit similar to the same meaning of itself what the refugee is. When the people are, let's suppose, migrating from one place and going to another and living there as a refugee, so we call the person a refugee. So the same is culture refugee, the terms that we are having. So what is culture refugees? The dissatisfaction of people by their social life and having the tendency towards something or some belief for satisfaction is called culture refugee. So whenever someone is not satisfied from his or her social life, and they always have interest to go towards something else and find some other cultures in which they would like to satisfy themselves, and they put themselves according to the other cultures and make themselves to adjust and just search for the satisfactions. It is called such culture refugees. Like most of the times, if we see now the cultures, that the way of clothing has been totally, now it's changing. Why we are changing the clothing style and our fashions? We might be not satisfied from this social life, so that's why we are going to adopt some new one, and we would like to adjust ourselves to make ourselves satisfied from following the other culture. So such phenomena that you are adopting some new cultures, a new social life of other people's, and you are searching for your own satisfactions, and you would like to find something interesting in other people and just you want to follow that, such terms, and then it is called a culture refugees. Like I say, if with way of clothing, how it was in the past and how it is now in the present, it's quite different, you can see. And the same, the way of communications, how the people communicated in the past, now the way of communication has totally changed now to another modern way. So because people want to make themselves satisfied by using the technology to communicate with other peoples, While you can also find some conservative-minded people in the society that they never want to adopt themselves to or adjust themselves into a new cultures, into a new phenomena. So that is called conservative type of peoples. So cultural refugees, as most of the time we have been applying for. So such kind of thing that is being applied in the society, and it's not your own, it's not the originality, but still you are following that for your own satisfaction and interest, and that is called cultural refugees. Like for example, if you have an example of people, they are living in Afghanistan and going to foreign countries and living there as a refugee there. So they may not be happy with the social life inside Afghanistan. So there will be a lot of problem might be for them, since they're not satisfied from the living conditions of their own from their life. So that's why they would like to migrate to other foreign countries. They go there and are searching for satisfactions and a best and better life there. So that is also a kind of refugee. But in culture, we also having the same terms. That is similar to cultural refugees, as a simple words of refugee. So there are different religions and different beliefs in the world. Every religion has its own beliefs in items of a cultural refugee. Some of the examples show items of cultural refugee of different religions. In the same, some people are adopting some new religions. So culture means the way of living. How you are living in your own religions, you may not be satisfied with it, and you may not be good enough with that religion. So then you are adopting some new religions. So there is other norms and values are theirs, and that religion might be totally different from yours. So then you would like to adopt some new way of living, because you just thinking about that if I'm leaving my own cultures and just adopting the new ones, you're migrating from your own and going to the other cultures just for your satisfaction. So that is called a cultural refugee. Muslims, for example, they use amulet to cure different diseases, prayers to God, recitation from the Holy Quran and the Hajj, and etc. are the famous items of cultural refugees in Islam. Sikhs wear bangles in one hand and turban on head, never cut hair, and a dagger kept besides. These are the items of Sikh religion for functioning as a cultural refugees, and they all see their own satisfactions in all these items. So that's why the Sikh people are wearing their bangles in one hand, and that have a best philosophy for them. At the same time, they are just keeping with themselves a dagger beside themselves, so, and keeping their hair long enough, and they never cut it. So this is what they just see a satisfaction in that. If these want to change this and enter to another religion, so in another religion there are some other concepts, other values, other ideas, informations, and important things. So then, if they adopt the new religions, so such religion that they are adopting and following such values and norms of that culture is called cultural refugees. Beside this, for example, the Christians, the cross for the Christian is symbol of a cultural refugees. If you see the Christians, they almost using the symbol of the cross for the reason to identify themselves among the others as a Christians, and it's always being identified by others that this person belongs to the Christian society. It's because of that cross that symbols of their cultures, refugees. So I mean that they might be just seeing themselves in a huge benefit. That's why they're following their own religions. But if they do, and if they are not satisfied from the Christianity, from the religions, from the culture that exists inside the Christianity, and they would like to adopt some new religions, so in some new religions there might be new cultures and norms and value you have to follow. So these people that they are converting and having the tendency to go to the other cultures, and there they want to find a satisfaction, such kind of phenomena is called as a culture's refugees. So there are so many other items. These include use of rings on the fingers, use of ornament by women, having long hair, believe in Allah, doomsday, life after death, the heaven, the hell, etc. are some of the important examples of the items of a cultural refugee. So these are some other examples of the what is a cultural refugees. You can see it. If you are satisfied in believing in Allah, in doomsday, in life after death, so you are satisfied in passing your life. So it means that you are in stagnant positions. You are not changing your culture's values and culture's concepts. So then we cannot call it's a culture's refugee. Culture refugee is that the same people who believe in Allah and believe in doomsday, in life after death, but still they are not satisfied with such kind of concepts and idea and value that they are having and standards and norms of society. Then these people are going to change their own views regarding their own cultures and adopting the new ones, and would like to have a satisfaction in that culture. So that is called culture refugees. While there are two more other terms that are being most widely used in cultures by the peoples in the societies, that is ethnocentrism and the term xenocentrism. So what ethnocentrism means? This refers to the tendency to see the behavior, beliefs, values, and norms of one's own group as the only right way of living and to judge others by those standards. It is the feeling of superiority for one's own culture and to consider other culture as inferior, wrong and strange. For example, superiority of the white race over the black ones. Ethnocentrism وقتی که ما شما یک عقیده را، یک مفکوره را و عقیده را داشته باشیم که اگر مذهب است، اگر فرهنگ است، اگر نژاد است، زبان است، مذهب، هر چیزایی ما که از او در اون مذهب یا در اون جامعه زندگی میکنیم، از ما مثلا به این فکر باشیم که بهترین است، درست است، مناسب است نظر به فرهنگ و مذهب و کلچر دیگران که آنها غلط است، غیر مناسب است، نادرست است. اگر وقتی که ما این ترجیح به همه چیزای خود ما بدیم و نظر به افراد دیگر، جامعه دیگر، پس امی داشتن دارای این مفکوره به نام خودی ethnocentrism یاد می شود. So Muhammad Iqbal, a Pakistani scientist, he defined that Chaudhary defined that what is ethnocentrism? It's a belief that one's own group, one's own race, society and culture is good, is normal, is right and superior to the other groups, other cultures in society and race that are inferior, wrong and abnormal and bad. هر چیزی از شما که می باشد در جامعه که شما زندگی می کند، اگر جامعه است، اگر مذهب است، اگر نژاد است، اگر فرهنگتان هستند، اگر یک مجموع گروپ شما هستند، این بهترین است، مناسب است، درست است، نرمال است نظر به کسای دیگری که در فرهنگ، مذهب، جامعه و در گروپ خود است و زندگی می کند، میگن که با غیر نرمال است، غیر مناسب است، درست نیست، غلط است. این مفکوره به نام ethnocentrism یاد میشه که شخص به نام ethnocentric یاد می شود، یعنی خود پرست است. So such belief is called ethnocentrism. Ethnocentrism is an attitude of regarding one's own culture or group as inherently superior to others. Ethnocentrism expresses an ability to appreciate the various viewpoints of others' culture where language, religion, morality, and ethical standards are different. Such an attitude is responsible for creating many personal, group, and racial, sectarian, and cultural problems that is ranging from an individual to international levels. Now, there are some advantages of ethnocentrism or the person who is being ethnocentric. Faydation cheers. If the person is totally ethnocentric, it means that he is very loyal in showing his loyalty in patriotism. شخصی که ethnocentric هستن یعنی وفاداری و حب الوطن و محبت همراه وطن پرستی، یعنی یک نوع داشته می باشد همراه ملت خود، همراه قوم خود، همراه زبان خود، همراه جامعه خود که از او تیر نمی شود که ما وفادار به او باشد، یعنی یک انسانی وطن دوست باشد. یعنی خود اتنوسنتریکس به معنی که محبت و وفا و دوستی همراه قریه و ملت و مملکت خود داشته می باشد. یک فایده اتنوسنتریکسی هستند. No confusions. امی است که بودن در حالات مخشوش انسان هیچ وقت نمی باشد، به خاطر اینکه از یک مذهب، در یک جامعه، در یک گروپ، از یک ارزش ها از این استفاده می کند. کدام مخشوش ذهنش چی نیست، مثلا که کدامش خوب است کدامش بد است، به خاطر اینکه یک پلتفرم داره، یک چوکات داره که در چوکات زندگی خود را به پیش میبره، میگه که اینمی بهترین است، دیگرها غلط است. یعنی کنفیوژن نمی داشته باشد. Integration and solidarity. در ضمن خود اتنوسنتریزم که هستم درس اتحاد و همدلی و همدردی و میده که یک انسان نشان میده همراه جامعه و مردم خود را. Integration and solidarity. At the same time, concentration to one's own problems. در ضمن انسان میتواند بالای مشکل خود متمرکز شود. یعنی چی مشکل خود دارد در اتنوسنتریزم، یعنی توجهش به اونمو جلب می شود که ما در مذهب، در فرهنگ، در جامعه مطلب چی نوع مشکل داریم. ما فقط فکر در مورد دیگران نمی کنیم، فقط میگیم که ما بهترین هستیم. وقتی که ما بهترین هستیم چی مشکل ما در خود ما هستند، اگر او کاهش است مثلا یا موجود می باشد چطور میتونیم او را از بین ببریم. یعنی کانسنتریشن توجه به مشکل خود ما می شود در خود اتنوسنتریزم. باز disadvantages of هم داره، یعنی نقصانات اتنوسنتریزم هم هستند. hinder its block development in unity. کسی که وقتی که انسان اتنوسنتریک باشد او تغییر را قبول ندارد، پیشرفت را، ترقی را مثلا در جامعه قبول ندارد، اما یک بلاک، یک خند، یک موانع پیدا میشه به خاطر اتحاد و اتفاق و ترقی در یک مملکت، به خاطر که در یک فکر زندگی میکند. یعنی خود را همراه جامعه دیگر، فرهنگ دیگر، مذهب دیگر مثلا توافق کرده نمیتواند، به خاطر اینکه شخص بسیار گفته میتونیم سلفیش هستند در مورد چیز خودشان. همین قسم دو مشکل که هستند مشکلات اجتماعی را ایجاد میکند. چون اگر مذاهب دیگر، اگر فرهنگ و کلچر دیگر را در او جامعه مثلا فعالیت آغاز میکند یا فعالیت بکند، یک نوع مشکل امرایش پیدا میکند، یعنی باعث مشکلات اجتماعی در جامعه میشود. شاید ما بگوییم که امراه افرادی که مربوط به فرهنگ دیگر هستند امراه او تضاد پیدا شود، یک مشکل اجتماعی پیدا میشود در جامعه که فعلا مخالفت جامعه را مثلا از بین میبرد. امی تو انسان به طرف انفرادیت می رود، اندیویدوالیسم، به خاطر که شما یک مذهب، یک فرهنگ، یک ویلیو، یک جامعه، یک کلاس را شما خود دارین و اون امور شما ترجیح میدین نظر به مذهب و فرهنگ دیگران. پس در اینجا هم انسان به حالت انفرادیت میرد، انفرادی میماند. باز طوری که ما میفهمیم انسان یک با اساس ضرورت به اجتماع دارد تا که در اجتماع زندگی کند به شکل گروپ و مشکلات خود را حل فصل بکند، مشکلات را امرای دیگران مثلا شریک بسازد و راه حل برش پیدا شود. در خود اتنوسنتریزم اندیویدوالیسم پیدا می شود. به این خاطر یک از نقصانات اتنوسنتریزم این است که انسان را به منفرد می سازد. So the opposite terms into ethnocentrism, that is ethnocentrism. کلمه دیگر که ضد اتنوسنتریزم است به نام زینوسنتریزم. معنی این است که ما ترجیح میدیم به مثلا تولید و مذهب و مثلا یعنی هر چیزی که از ما هستن نظر به دیگران، ما به دیگران ترجیح میدیم نظر به چیزای خودی ما. مثلا اگر مثال میتیم ما در بازار میریم یک تولید افغانی رو نمیگیریم، یک تولید ژاپنی، چینایی، پاکستانی و مثلا ایرانی رو میگیریم. معنی این است که ما ترجیح به فورن پروداکتس میدیم، همین نظری که ما داشته باشیم، اینمی شخصی که مثلا همیشه در مورد هر چیزایی که بیرون از مرز باشد امرایش دوستی و محبت و چیزا داشته باشیم، یا به این فکر باشیم که آنها درست است، بهترین است، مناسب است نظر از ما، همین نفر به نام xenocentric یاد می شود. So a preference for foreign idea or product is called xenocentrism. Quite simple. The word xenocentrism means a preference for the foreign. It is exactly opposite to ethnocentrism, or this refers to the idea that what is foreign is best and that is one style, product or idea are inferior to those of other. For example, mania for imported goods and foreign lifestyles. It is the belief that our product styles and idea are necessarily inferior to those which originate elsewhere. So such kind of belief is named as xenocentrisms. So these two terms are used in cultures. This was about today's lectures. Till then, Allah Hafiz, wish you all the best. Have a great times. Let me know if you have any questions. Share your questions and your idea and critics on the WhatsApp number. Message me that to answer and solve your questions on the spot. Wish you all the best. Have a long time. Thank you for your attentions and patience. Thank you.